Ostensibly, you have already watched parts 1 and 2 of this series. If not, you should watch them first. In parts 1 and 2, we learn that the best use of the human mind is inductive and deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is the superior but most difficult branch of logic, which the Greeks called logos. Logos, which is a word that literally came from ancient usage, meaning to collect or to pick out word, came to mean simply the word or reason. New Testament writers, such as in the book of John, used it theologically to refer to the reasoning consciousness behind all of creation. In rhetoric, or the art of persuasion, logos is the use of evidence or lines of reasoning to support a claim. Now, all too often we encounter fools who will not be persuaded or dissuaded by logic. Some say that arguing with a fool makes you the greater fool. So why do we need to learn about critical thinking at all if fools won't listen to reason? Here are 3 key reasons to learn critical thinking. First, you have a moral duty to ensure the truth prevails. Second, critical reasoning is more powerful than physical violence. Think, for example, if a nation defeats an enemy in war. The enemy's mindset has not necessarily changed. We saw this in the American Deep South after the Civil War. Southerners bitterly enacted Jim Crow laws, and the KKK's membership grew to its largest size 60 years after the Civil War. If anything, the use of physical violence to get your way will make your opponent even more hostile to your cause. 3. Persuasion might be a matter of life and death. Say you are on a jury for a murder case in a state that has the death penalty. Perhaps the other jurors are ready to condemn the accused, but you have noticed serious flaws in the prosecution's case. You owe it to the accused to try to change your fellow jurors' minds. In the event that your fellows cannot see the flaws in the evidence or are blind to the fallacies in their own argument, you are dealing with people who will not listen to reason. In such cases, there are 2 other ways to appeal to people to agree with you. Ethos works in the following ways. It establishes your credibility. It tears down your opponent's lack of credentials. It builds an empathetic bridge to your audience. And it casts your opponent as alien to the audience. In short, ethos appeals to tribal impulses in humans. It is the old us versus them approach. Sometimes, especially in advertising and politics, we see would-be persuaders fail at using ethos, resulting in the bad ethos fallacy. The bad ethos fallacy is when a person who has no expertise with something holds herself as someone whose words we should consider. Advertisers, for example, will select a celebrity to sell a certain product. In 2023, HBO star Larry David promoted cryptocurrency in a Super Bowl ad. Personally, I would rather hear from a financial advisor about this sort of product. It is not unusual, too, during political campaigns, to see candidates falsely assert themselves as advocates for certain people. A case in point is Donald Trump's attempt on September 27, 2023, to persuade striking auto workers in Michigan that Trump was a champion of union workers. The reality is that his policies as former president and actions as businessman were undeniably hostile to unionized workers. Now, I apologize if I have been throwing too much information at you. I remember my own coursework in critical thinking, and I had stacks of flashcards to help remember all the terms. It can be overwhelming. And let's face it, we all have more fun things to do than to learn about the rules of evidence or how to build a bridge to an audience. So forgive me. I feel your pain, having lived it myself. Please don't be too hard on yourself if these videos are exhausting to study. What have I just done? Did you find yourself becoming a little more open to me? Did you start thinking that maybe I am on your side after all? What I did was simply use the appeal of ethos to try to build a bridge to you. Did it work?